Hello and welcome to the next episode of Creating Mobile Game series. In this video, we will add win and lose condition to our game. And before we start, just a reminder that you can try completed game on itch.io or Google Play Store. Don't miss my next video by subscribing for the channel. If you have any feedback or questions, please leave them in the comment section. And of course, hit that like button. And so, how we organize our work today? Well, first we add game timer, then we add win and lose menus. Enough of that. Let's jump to Unity. First thing we need to do is to add game timer. We will do that in the canvas, so it will be like a UI thingy. Let's create, as usual, empty. Say game menu for now. We probably will rename it in future. And here I want to stretch it for the full screen. By the way, I forgot in the last video, we need to change this canvas to be scale with screen size. We need to specify what screen size we want to have, and it is 1080 by 1920, and then it's a match width. So we've done it in our main menu, but not in the game menu. So let's check that our pre-start menu haven't messed up. No, it's fine. So now we just can proceed with our game menu. Let's create slider. We will use slider for timer. It's actually very handy to use that one. Let's call it as a timer, and then let's place it on top with Alt, and then we just change it a bit. So double click on timer to see it in the scene view, and then we will stretch it. Now I will anchor it to the top, and now I will change this position a bit. Also, I want to change high to like 40, maybe 60, and then position will be minus 40 maybe. Yeah, this is fine. And also we need to change width. So let's say 800. Yeah, 800 looks fine. And here we can use some sprites to make it looks better. And for background, I will use, I have this one thing with wooden, so it will be like a wooden background. Then I don't want to have anything for handle, it will be just none. And then color will be probably also nothing here, but the slider fill area. So here we have this fill, and I will just use this sprite. And now if we go to timer itself, here you can see there's a value from 0 to 1, and we put it as 1 by default, and it will go down. So with time it will go down, and so that's how we will see that game is closer to end. Now when we have our timer in place, let's control it through the script, and we will do it in our UI manager. So let's go there. Here we will need to introduce a public variable. It can be private, but just in case we want to change it, let's make it here, and it will be time step in seconds. So based on this value, we will know how often we update our timer on the screen. And so then we will introduce one more new thing, enumerator. So this is the coroutine function. How we call it, let's say timer countdown. It's actually a perfect name for it. And here to this function as a parameter, we will provide our level duration in seconds. So it also will be float, and it will be level duration. So we know that this actually this variable will came to us from game manager because it has information about level config. Now we just want to introduce for loop from 1 to 0 that will on each loop iteration it will decrease our timer. But for that we need to calculate how many steps we will have in our loop. So let's say total steps, and it will be equal to level duration that is divided by time step in seconds. So let's take that. Also let's return yield, another way around, it's yield return. And we say new wait for seconds, so new wait for seconds, and we will provide this time step. Again, here will be time step. And so then what we do, we need total steps, but we also want to know the countdown steps. So for how much we want to decrease our timer, right? And so how we will calculate that one? Countdown step. Yeah, it will be 1 because 1 is our max, and we just need to divide it by total number of steps. Good. And now we can actually create our for loop. That will be float I equals 0. Then we say I less than total steps, and then I plus plus. And after that, we can just say that our timer, we need actually to, here we need to access our timer. So we provide one more variable, which is slider. We cannot access slider, so we need to introduce one more, this namespace, which is Unity engine and then .ui. And so here we can access slider, and it is our timer. So now we can access our timer from here. And here we will say that timer value is minus equal and then countdown step. Minus equal is what it will do is we'll just take timer value, then we'll decreases by this step. And so here we actually want to have this yield return. And after that, so at the end of the loop, we want to say that it's game over, right? So we want to access game manager here as well. Let's add a variable for that. So we have game manager, and here we're saying that game manager.on time stop. And we call it true. There's no such a method yet, but we will create it very soon. This will be one of our losing conditions. So let's also add reference to our game over menu. It's comma separated here values. So we can say game over set active true. So we know that if our time is run out, then we activate our game over screen. And so this is a private method, and so we cannot access this outside, so we can't access it from game manager. But we need to have some public method that can be accessed from game manager, and it will be activate timer. Here we want to provide our level duration, so it will level duration. And here what we will do, or actually in our class scope, we will create private coroutine variable, and we call it timer coroutine. And then we say that it's equal to start coroutine. And sorry, to start coroutine, we need to provide actually a function or method that is returning this enumerator. And so now we can start the coroutine, and then result will be ID of this coroutine. So we can stop this coroutine at any moment. For example, if we reach a win condition, we can stop our timer and just display a win condition screen. And how coroutine works is that it's just a simple function that can have this yield return. So we can return from the function several times. It's very useful to use with this wait for some time steps. So we kind do something, then we wait a bit, then it will return to our function and do something again. Since I already told that we can stop this coroutine with winning condition, let's add one more function, which will be public void activate win condition. And here we can provide some score, or score will be int, so it will be a whole number, not floating. And so here we can actually stop coroutine with using stop coroutine, and we need to provide ID of our coroutine, which is held here in timer coroutine. And after that, we need to activate our win So let's do that. Just say, I'll just copy one of these and put the right name below. Also, we want to show our score probably, so there will be some variable that will be hold our score. So let's add one more variable here, which is public, and it will be, so for text we will use text mesh pro, so we need to add that to our namespace. It is just tm pro, and so here it will be text mesh pro GUI, and then it's bin score text. And then we need to update text of this one here. We're just saying that it's equal to score to string. Let's also reset our timer value on activate timer. So in case we lost or something and we want to start again, so our value will go back to 1. And also, before we jump back to Unity, let's go to the function that we created in Game Manager. Here it is on time stop. So let's go there, and we need to implement this one because this one was auto-generated for us. So what do we want to see here? So is game over? By default, it false. First, what we want to do is I would like to reset position of our player. We don't have that functionality yet, so we will do it again in a second. It's very easy to do. I'll show you. And then also what we want to do is to deactivate our player, so it's disappeared from the screen. So we say set active and then false. If you remember, when we will run our level again here, it will be activated again, player. So we created this reset function, and so let's go here to our player, right? So we need to create one more variable. It will be private variable, private vector3, and start position. And then we need to save the start position in our start method. Remember that start method will be called once, only once, in the first frame. So start position will be our transform.position. So this is where our players spawn at the first time. And then in our reset function, what we can do, we can just say that transform.position equal to start position, and this is how we are resetting our player. Let's go back to Unity and check what do we need to add to our canvas. And so we need to create game over and win menu. We also need to provide timer and game manager. Well, with timer is game manager and game manager is easy. We just drag and drop them here. But then with win menu and game over and this win score text, yeah, we need to create those. So let's do that. In canvas, I will create image and I will call it win menu. And for the image, I will just use one of the boxes. And don't worry if the box is too small. So for example, I can just drag this one. What I will do is I will just change width and height. So width will be 800 and height will be also 800. And so here, since this one is bin menu, we want to have play, restart, and maybe home button, and also text for our win condition. So let's add win score and place it, like stretch it like this, place it in the middle, make it bigger, like 80. Yeah, it's fine. Now anchor it to this center. It will be anchored, by the way, when we anchor it to center. So just keep in mind, since win score is a child of win menu, so it will be anchored to the middle of the win menu, not to the middle of the screen. And also we want to add a few buttons, as I said. So we just create a button where we remove in text, because, well, I remove in text, and I will just call it home. Then I'll place it here and I will use this icon, set native, nice. So home, like this, and then duplicate, move. It will be this one, like next, level, duplicate, move, and restart. So now we have everything for main menu, and we can drag it to our canvas. So we want to have this score text, which is this one, and also we want to drag the spin menu over here. Now we need to create our game over menu. And since it will be basically the same menu almost, we just can duplicate our win menu and then hide our win menu because we don't want to see it, and rename this one. It will be game over. And what are we doing here? We're removing next level button, and we change our win score just to like game over. Now we save, deactivate, and move them or drag it over to game over. Nice. And now we can start the game and just see if anything works. And when game started, I immediately remembered that yes, nothing will work because we forgot one more thing, or actually I forgot, right? So in Game Manager, when we are running this level, we need to activate timer. Right now, timer is not activating itself, so we need to go to UI Manager, and then we're saying activate timer, and we need to provide our level duration, which is held in this level config. So here we're saying level config, level to run, finally we use this variable, and then level duration. And now let's go back to Unity and just run the game. Okay, let's check. I'm pressing play, and yes, great. You see that a timer now is running slowly to the end. What we will do now is I want to check, will we see this game over thing? So I'll just make it 3 seconds and click play. So I changed it in our level config to 3 seconds. Now I click play, and as you can see now it's boom, game over. Nice. As you can see, game over is working, but buttons doing nothing for now. So let's fix that. Let's open our game manager, and we create 2 more methods. First will be restart, and another will be go home or go to main menu. For switching between scenes, we want to have one more namespace, which is Unity Scene Management. And here we will just say Scene Manager load scene, and it will be 0 because it will be our main scene. And for restart, we just want to show Christmas tree. That's the only thing we want to have for restart. And so let's go back to Unity and let's activate our game over menu. So there we can assign these 2 functions to our button. I will select 2 buttons at the same time, and then I will just click twice on plus and move game manager to the first one. And what we do with home button for the game over, we're just saying that go to main menu. Great. And next thing what we'll do is we need to drag game over menu. Actually, I could do that as well, so drag to both of them, right? Set active false, so it will close this window immediately. And for restart, we're saying that it is restart, and we're also dragging up here, and then we game object set active. Yes, now it's done. So now we save, then we deactivate game over. Let's start our game and wait until it fails, right? So we have 3 seconds only, and we have game over. And if now we press restart, we can see that this is 1 in the pre-start menu. If we can play, it's now again it's reset to 1, so everything is already here. And if we press home, Yes, exactly. It's load the main menu. That's it for today. In the next video, we will finally work on win condition and score. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support me, you can always do it on Patreon for some extra perks, HIO, or you can check my assets, including this game, in Unity Store. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.